What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I've been a dog owner for over 20 years, all Dobermans, including the escape artists, the lazy ones, the insatiably curious. No matter the dog, there's one fear that haunts every pet parent, and it's that gut-wrenching panic whenever your dog vanishes. Now, if you've seen some of my previous videos, then you'll know that I've had more than one escape incident, especially with Athena. Both dogs are more than capable of scaling a 6-foot privacy fence, and there was a time when Athena was gone for hours. And she came back, thank goodness, but the panic, that lingered for a while. So when I heard about a GPS dog fence that skips all the wires, itches the digging, and claims to prevent 99% of escapes, well, I was all ears to that. Wasn't cheap, $999, but they called it peace of mind in a collar. For dog owners, that's priceless. And that's when I discovered the SpotOn GPS Dog Fence. And today, I'm going to break down everything that you need to know to decide if this collar is right for your pup. Now, SpotOn is a GPS-powered dog fence that promises freedom without all of the hassle. You don't have to have wires, no digging, just flexibility. You create boundaries using the phone app, covering everything from half an acre to over 100,000 acres. And the collar does the rest. Waterproof to IP67 standards and works off-grid. Doesn't require a subscription for fencing, so you can add tracking if you prefer it. But regardless of whether or not you're hung up on the subscription idea, the collar itself is an interesting design to say the least. Now, if you have a dog that's got a neck that's smaller than 10 inches, this collar's probably not going to work. And as you can see, it's got two large, bulky sections here, for lack of a better word, and they don't squeeze very well when you try to tighten the collar down for small necks. So while it fits my Dobermans just fine and they don't have a problem with it and it's not overly heavy for them, or it doesn't strike me as burdensome, it might not be the best fit for small dogs or maybe even small to medium-sized dogs. In terms of heft, it's really not that heavy despite the way it looks, but it's something you definitely need to consider. And if you have a dog with a smaller neck than 10 inches, I would advise against this dog. Now, as far as the system is concerned, it's simple and it works in 3 steps. You draw your boundary, train your dog, and enjoy the freedom. You can customize zones, overlap your fences, and you can create a fence within a fence if needed, all through the app. But first, you have to draw the fence. Next, you train your pup. Finally, you live life unleashed, knowing that they're safe. As far as training your pup, it takes repetition and patience. Every dog's different, but it's important to realize that most dogs don't have a fantastic attention span. We're talking maybe 5, 10 minutes, 10 minutes being the maximum. So that's where the repetition, the redundancy comes in, and the patience, of course. Some dogs are more stubborn than others. But do it in 3 or 4 different 5 to 10 minute sessions throughout the day. All you're doing is walking your dog up to where you're going to have the invisible fence set up. And then when you reach it, the collar goes off. Gently bring your dog back and reward them with treats. Now, like I said, you may only have to do this a few times. You may have to do it a dozen times. But the point is, repetition makes perfect. The more you do it with your dog, the more they'll get used to it, and understanding that the tone of the collar or the vibration of the collar is their cue to come back to the house. And SpotOn, like most collars, it kind of gets worse as the dog crosses the boundary. The vibration of the tone, heavy, loud. In dogs' ears, that's one thing you'll notice about SpotOn is the tone is extremely high pitched. It's really for dog ears and not for human ears, so it will sound quiet to you. But it escalates as they go, and as they come back, it tones it back down, which teaches them that when they're facing the right direction and heading the right direction, that they're doing the right thing. Practice, repetition, do it over and over again. Reward them for doing a good job, and you will have your dog trained in no time. Now, with the app, you can either draw your fence out on the app or you can walk it out. I found that walking it out is the best option. Walk the fence line out. That way, you know exactly where the fence line is, and you can exclude pieces of property or include obstacles throughout the yard. For example, if you just don't want to include a shed or like an external garage, you can simply walk the perimeter of that building, including it in your overall perimeter walk, and then it will take that shape in the app. It kind of looks rudimentary when you're looking at it and actually walking it out, but the lines straighten themselves up once you apply it. And then you can make tiny little adjustments where you're just basically pointing and clicking with your finger until you get it exactly perfect, where you know exactly where those lines are. Talking about walking out your perimeter, referencing things like these. You have, trees in your yard, lots of brush. My dogs like to pass through these, so you just have to force your way through it. But if you can't do that, you can always jump back on the app and finish the line out by just drawing it out with your finger. Or you can kind of go around this and then just make the adjustments necessary afterwards so you can include this area. So it's really not that troublesome. Like on the other side of the yard, I have a chicken coop and we only have, baby chicks in there and we keep the big chicks over there, but I don't want the dogs in there. So I switch over to my second fence, which you can create multiple fences, and it basically overlaps this fence, but I walked around the chicken coop when I made the fence. So the dogs can't go in there. They try to, then they get the little collar thing, vibration and tone. Now they've learned not to go near the coop. So even when I don't have that fence up, they still stay away from it. So it shows that training the dogs also is very effective. It's not just the collar, it's both of them combined. Now, throughout the entire training process, keep in mind that SpotOn also offers free training support, tutorials, and they even offer one-on-one guidance, which is really nice. Now, their tech is next level. It taps into 128 satellite networks across 4 global constellations: GPS, Galileo, GLONASS, and Petcited. Its dual feed antenna cuts through signal noise, delivering accuracy to within 3 feet under open skies and 10 feet in dense tree cover. Now, with forest mode and no need for cell service, it's built for real-world challenge. I do experience fence drift from time to time. It's more noticeable in smaller yards, but basically fence drift is the result of imprecise GPS. None of these smart collars have 100% 24/7 pinpoint accuracy. They tend to drift occasionally, 1 or 2 feet closer or farther. My yard's large enough that it's barely noticeable, but if you have exactly 3/4 of an acre, you may notice it more. For instance, like 3 feet feels pretty big in a small backyard, but it's practically inconsequential if you're sitting on 5 acres of land or something similar. Now, if you're finding this helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's simple and it's a way to support more honest content like this. And of course, join our community. It's passionate about keeping dogs safe and free. Now, if you want more control, an optional tracking plan will let you view your dog's live location. You can get escape alerts, battery warnings, and even issue a recall command through the app. You can trigger tone, vibration, or static feedback manually, and the battery lasts 25 to 40 plus hours. Now, like I was talking about earlier, the collar comes in small, medium, and large, fitting necks from 10 to 26 inches. Each dog has to have their own collar, but you can manage them all from one app with multi-collar discounts available. Now, proper fit is crucial for antenna alignment, so you want to measure your dog's neck, make sure there's 1 to 2 fingers of spacing in between. When I talk about that alignment, this right here is a GPS receiver. When you fit it on your dog's neck, this should be relatively pointed upward. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you don't want the collar spinning on your dog's neck constantly. You want to try to keep this with an unobstructed view of the sky to the best of your ability. I understand dogs are going to romp around and play a lot and get the collars twisted up, but do the best you can. If you fit it with maybe 1 or 2 fingers width in between the dog's neck and the collar, that will generally do the trick for you. Or when I talk about fitting the collar, and here come Dairies. Nope, fit, fit. It's really pretty simple what I'm referencing here. And this is a real easy collar to adjust. I just want to get it to where I can get 2 fingers up underneath there. To me, that's enough space for her. I can't even make a video. Now, SpotOn does boast a 99.3% containment rate, especially after training, with most escapees returning within 1 to 5 minutes. But is it the perfect collar for everyone? I won't sugarcoat it. The price stings. After a month of use, here's the deal though. The pros include true location tech, no subscription for fencing, off-grid reliability, unlimited fences, strong GPS filtering, and it's got a waterproof, weather-resistant design. Cons, it's expensive up front. Tracking does require a subscription, and you need at least half an acre for it to work effectively. Is it worth $999? If you're craving freedom without any physical fences, SpotOn's tech-first approach definitely delivers. Now, I'll share my take on it, and it's basically this. Out of all the smart collars I've reviewed, the SpotOn is the one that I still use the most. It's the most dependable collar in all of these other ones that I've covered, which includes Attractive, Halo, obviously, Paulius, Pet Safe collars. I still primarily use the SpotOn collar for my dog, and I have two of them. So yeah, the price stings up front. Are they worth it in the long run to tame my dogs without fencing or without worrying about them scaling the fence? Absolutely. So if you're considering SpotOn, ensure your yard meets the half-acre minimum. I would even say 3/4 of an acre, like I talked about earlier. Measure your dog's neck carefully. Peace of mind starts with the right fit. Get $75 off with our coupon code EXCITED, plus a 90-day risk-free guarantee, free shipping, and a 1-year warranty. Be sure to check the links below for the details. If you want a collar comparison or battery life tips, drop your questions in the comments and let us know your thoughts. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more honest pet tech reviews. Appreciate everybody watching, and we will see you in the next video.